First of all, welcome in my channel, and today I'm going to tell you about my membership plan. First of all, I will provide you .NET Core video tutorial, Dapper tutorial, REST API tutorial, Angular video tutorial. Not only video tutorial, I will provide you complete source code. Okay, and it's not only a simple video tutorial; it's a project-based video tutorial. So each technology have minimum 2 projects. So guys, this is a project-based courses in all technologies, just 800 rupees. And you focus that it's not only a technology, it's a roadmap. Okay, so that is the complete roadmap of .NET Core, and that video tutorial is providing you a past deal for you. Okay, so first of all, I will provide you .NET Core and video tutorial. It's not only simple video tutorial. Again, I repeat you, project-based video tutorial. So I will cover it, all design patterns and solid patterns and architectural designs. Okay, so I will give you clean architecture-based projects. Okay, so that is .NET Core, and that .NET Core used Entity Framework Core and SQL Server. In further video, I will use ADO.NET and the Dapper, and just after that, I will use Blazor as a front end, and Angular as a front end, and the React as a front end. So use REST API. So it's a based on project, okay, and it's a roadmap so that we can cover all the topics of the full stack development. So this is only 800 rupees. You just pay me 800 rupees and get all video tutorials. Okay, so day by day. And if you are belong from other country, just pay $15. And it's only a one-time fees. That is, again, I repeat you, one-time fees. Just only pay 800 rupees and get the source code and complete video tutorials. Okay, so how to get the deal? Just fill this form. That is your name, your email ID, your contact number. Contact number is not necessary. Transaction reference ID, order ID, or PayPal ID. If you are belong from India, just pay using UPI ID and just add your transaction reference ID. And after that, if you are belong from other country, just use this my PayPal ID, and this is, you can use this QR code also. Okay, and submit the form. After submit your form, you will get a notification via email and start your journey for the membership. Okay, so just find the link of this form in your video description box. So must to check your video description box. Okay. Hurry up guys, because it's a limited time deal I will provide. I'm giving you. Okay, so in this video tutorial, just I'm going to tell you about design a register user command handler. You know that a register user command handler is inherited by the iRequest handler, but right now I have a iCommand handler that is inherited from your iRequest handler, where we have a result response, and that is the T command as a command type, as an input type. Okay, so what is the result? Result, we have 3 things. That is the type of success, failure, and the message and the object type. Okay, so result we have wait for some time, it will be loaded. So result we have success, failure, and error. Okay, so you can just put it the output type value also. So just right now, I'm going to design register user handler here. So register, oops. So register user command handler is implemented by iCommand handler. So here I'm going to add iCommand handler. iCommand handler, you know, that is, okay, so shopping cart.application.abstraction.cqrs, and in which we can just define a register user command. That is the register user command, and next is register user response. Register user response is not there. So first of all, I want to design register user command. We have 3 things in the register user command. Register user command, we have username, email, password, and confirm password. So register user response. So I'm going to create a iCommand handler where we have a register user command as an input, and I want to take it register user response. Register user uh, register user response. Register user response is actually not there. So first of all, I want to create a register user response here. And you know that register user response is where I want to create it. That is inside in application layer. So here we have application layer users command. So I want to create a command that is register user response. So that is register user response.cs file. So here we have a register user command, register user response, and register user command handler. So in register user command is a sealed record instead of the class. Okay. So register public sealed record register user response. That is, you know, that is make it GUID of ID and inherited by the I response. Okay. So here we have a GUID type of ID that is inside. We just return it when the user is created. At ID, I want to return it back. Okay. So I response is empty right now. So register user handler is there. So here we have a register user command that is the input type, and the output type is register user response. So that is implemented by I command handler. So implement interface and implement. When we implement this I command handler, we just got a handle method. Handle method is actually existing in I request. Okay, so I command handler we have just inherited by the I request handler, and I request handler is have a handle method. So handle method is actually returned back taskable type of I result, because you know that uh, that is the response type I result, and result is register user response. So you know that I command handler is inherited by the T command, that is the input type, and the output type is what? That is the I result. And I result we have, that is the I result of T response. Okay, so here we have a T response, I result of T response, that is register user response. So that we can return it register user response here. We all know that we have some requirement like register user command handler and oops, so extract interface, move to namespace, like that. So we will clearly later on. Okay, so I want to apply repository here, that is the user repository. So if you want to register any user, uh, then you need a repository here. So we need to add a repository interface in your abstraction layer. So here we have, you know, that is we have a domain layer, and under the domain layer we have the abstractions, and I want to add a abstract layer, that is new empty file here. And inside your abstraction we just create a new repositories directory also. So that is add a new repository directory first. Okay, so here we have a repositories. Under your repositories directory, we just create a user repository. So new file, that is I user repository .cs file. So under the abstraction there, we just create a I user repository. So I user repository is an interface. So I want to create it, some signatures here, like void add user. So here we have a user class. Okay, and user is in a head, that is the user. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so here I'm using void update user. So update user is user, and the next one I want to get by id a user. So just make it taskable type, that is user, make it user is nullable here, that is get by id async, and in which you can just provide user id. and that is the ID here with the cancellation token. So cancellation token, that is cancellation token. Okay, so get by ID async, get by email async. I want to take it here, task user, and that is get by email async, and here I'm going to pass email with the cancellation token. So that is the cancellation token here. Okay, the next one is get by username. So task of user, that is the operation done in users repository. Get by username. Okay, so get by username async, and here I'm going to pass username with the cancellation token. That is the cancellation token here. Next one, to check it, that is the and get written by the user. I want to check email is the unique email. Okay, so task, it's a type of boolean, it will return boolean type, is email unique async here. So here we have a is email unique async here. I want to pass it email and cancellation token, this one. So check it, the email, current email that is given by the user is the unique email or not. Okay, the next one is to find, that is the taskable type of boolean. So here I'm going to add a task of the bool, and that is email unique or not. Okay, and the next one is email is already taken or not. That will also return a unique, that will also return a boolean. So is email taken, is already taken, so that is the email and with the cancellation token. So here I'm going to add cancellation token. Okay, so these are the methods actually existing in the users repository. So here we have a users repository, and this is email taken as. Now I want to implement this user repository under your persistence layer. So here we have a domain layer, and that one is the persistence layer. Now under the persistence layer we have a repository. So I want to create a user repository here, and that user repository is inherited by the user, implement by the user repository. So add a new empty class here, and that class name is user repository. Okay, so user repository.cs file. We all know that user repository is here, so that's just implemented by the iUser repository. So iUser repository, we all know that. So iUser repository is actually existing in, we all know that that is domain layer. So first of all, under your persistence layer, just add a dependency first. That one is the domain layer. So add a project reference is, that is the domain layer. Okay, so what is the persistence layer? Where your data is connected to your database layer. Okay, so here we have a that is the persistence layer, and iUser repository is connected with this. So iUser repository is this one, and just use control dot implement interface. So all these are the unimplemented interface here. Now I want to use DB context here. So DB context is what? That is your ORM. So I want to take it under your framework and add a new DB context for shopping cart. So just add a name, that is shopping cart context .cs file, shopping cart context here, and that is inherited by the DB context file. So DB context is, you know that, existing in install package.microsoft entity framework core. So install it, find and install latest version. Okay, so here I'm going to add DB context here. we all know that just use CPUR. Under your CTR, just add a DB context option, DB context options. Under your DB context, we just assign shopping cart context. That one is options. Use base class. That one is options. Okay. So here I'm using shopping cart context. Now I want to use it this shopping cart context here. So here I'm using private read only shopping cart context, that is context. Now I want to add this context as a dependency injection. So generate constructor here, and I want to use these method with the help of context. So if you want to add a new user, now the first thing is the get by ID async. So I want to add get by ID async here. That is written and await, and when we use await here, that is async is automatically added with the method signature, and we just that context dot set of user, and that is set of user dot where, and I want to use a user that is user dot id is double equals to id. That's cool. Now dot, we just get it first or default async. Okay, with the cancellation token. So here I'm going to use cancellation token. So that is return it first or default, that is with the cancellation token. So that is implementation of get by ID async. Similarly, we just add more functions in get by username, get by email async. So first of all, you know that get by email async here. So just return it. I want to tag it, and get by email async, I want to get written by the email. So just copy and paste it here. So here we have a written async. So just make it here async, and we all know that ID is not there. So just we all know that email is there. So here I'm using email instead of ID. Email is like that, email. Okay, that's cool. Now we just call it first or default with the cancellation token like that. Now the next one is to add I get by ID async, get by username async. Okay, so get by username, just return it back the same thing. So just copy that and paste there, and user ID dot username first, and here we have just add async here. Okay, that's cool with the username here. Okay, now the next one is email taken async. I mean to say that you already have a email. So we all know that by using the any method, you can check it, the email is already taken. So just copy line and paste there. Now make it async here first. Oops. Okay. Now context dot set of user dot where user dot username. Instead of user dot username, I mean to say that user dot email is email. Dot I mean to say that dot where email dot any async. Okay, so any email dot any async with the cancellation token, it will result return back to the boolean. So I mean to say that if you have any email, that will return true. Okay, and the next one is unique. Unique, I mean to say that it will return false. Otherwise, it will return. So the same method I want to call it in this method, that is email is unique. So I'm using return here, return await. Okay, and is email taken is email taken async. I mean to say that is email taken async here, in which you can just pass it email with the cancellation token is false. Oops, is false. If it is false, I mean to say that email is unique. Okay, so update is not there, update is not clear. So now I want to update a user. So if you want to update a user, then you have to add a new user, update a new user. So that one is add and update here. Okay, so first of all, we all know that update method, just call it, that is underscore context dot set of user, okay, dot update and with the user. Okay, now the same method you can do it with the add here. So that one is add a user. Okay, so that is the implementation of user repository. Okay guys, if you want to know about, if you want to know how to prepare a complete project, how to prepare how to make it, how to become a full stack developer, you need my membership. And you know that